Missing sailors found dead in flooded compartments on U.S. Navy destroyer. Ship suffered severe damage to starboard side. 7 missing sailors from the USS Fitzgerald were found dead in flooded berthing compartments following the warship's collision with the merchant vessel, a U.S. Navy official said. The Navy's 7th Fleet said searchers found the bodies Sunday morning, Japan time, after the guided missile destroyer returned to its base in Japan. "This loss is something we all feel," Vice Admiral Joseph O'Coin, commander of the U.S. 7th Fleet, told reporters alongside the ship at Yokosuka Naval Base in Japan Sunday. "We have found a number of the remains of our missing shipmates, and our deepest sympathies go out to the families of those shipmates," he said. The Navy would not specify the number of dead, O'Coin said, until all families of the deceased had been notified, but he confirmed all search and rescue efforts had ended. The Admiral's comments Sunday indicated the loss of life could have been much worse. "There was a big puncture, a big gash underneath the waterline along the bottom of the ship," O'Coin said. The water flow into compartments that were berthing areas for 116 of the ship's crew was tremendous, he said, adding that there wasn't a lot of time in those spaces that were open to the sea. O'Coin said the cabin of the Fitzgerald's captain, Commander Bryce Benson, was completely destroyed. "He's lucky to be alive," he added. Benson was flown off the crippled ship by helicopter after the accident and was being treated at the Naval Hospital at Yokosuka, according to O'Coin, as were 2 other sailors who were medevaced. Crew saved ship from sinking. The Admiral said the ship had been in danger of sinking but was saved by the heroic efforts of the crew. "The crew had to fight very hard to keep the ship afloat," he said. The 10,000-ton guided missile destroyer and the ACX Crystal, a 29,000-ton container ship flagged in the Philippines, collided early Saturday local time off Japan's Izu Peninsula, officials said. The area sees heavy maritime traffic, with 400 to 500 vessels crossing it daily. That destroyer suffered severe damage to its starboard side, while the container ship sustained light damage. While photos showed serious damage above the waterline, the container ship also did severe damage below it. A 7th Fleet statement said the collision did significant damage and associated flooding to 2 berthing spaces, a machinery space, and a radio room. Container ships like the Crystal have bulbous bows under the waterline and that portion of the cargo vessel plowed into the U.S. warship. The Fitzgerald had left the base Friday for routine operations. Multiple investigations expected. O'Coin would not speculate on how the accident occurred, but said there would be multiple investigations into the collision, including one by the Navy's Judge Advocate General and one by the U.S. Coast Guard. Other investigations could come from the Japanese and Philippine authorities because of where the accident took place and the Philippine registry of the container ship. The Fitzgerald is an hourly Burke-class guided missile destroyer commissioned in 1995. The vessel is 505 feet long. It normally carries a crew of about 330 sailors and is homeported in Yokosuka. Despite the significant damage to the destroyer, O'Coin said he expected it would rejoin the fleet. "The ship is salvageable," he said. "It will take months, hopefully under a year for repairs. You will see the USS Fitzgerald back as one of our warships," O'Coin said. No one hurt on merchant ship. The ACX Crystal container ship is chartered by Japanese shipping company Nippon Yusen Kabushiki Keisha, NYK, and owned by Dainichi Invest Corporation, Nick said. No one aboard the Crystal was hurt, and no oil spilled from the vessel, Nick said. It was back in port Sunday. Nick and the ship's owner are cooperating with the Japan Coast Guard investigation into the collision, the shipping firm said. Our thoughts and deep concerns go out to all those directly affected, Nick said. Photos of the Crystal show damage to its bow. The ship, which handles general cargo, is manned by a captain and a crew of 20, Nick said. It was built in 2008 and is about 730 feet long. Thank you for listening.